जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदश्रीमदेसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, रामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्री श्री राधा रस बिहारी ललिता विशाखा की, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कौर वैष्णव वृंद की, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 25. Krishna lifts Govardhan Hill. Text number 6. Esham Shriya Avaliptanam Krishnena Atma Pita Atmanam Dhunuta Shri Mada Stambham Pashun Nayata Sankshayam. Esham Shriya Avaliptanam Krishnena Adhama Pitamanam Dhunuta Shrimadastambam Pashunayata Sankshayam. Esham Shriya Avaliptanam Krishnena Adhamapita Atmanam Dhunuta Shrimadastambam Pashunayata Sankshayam. Esham Shriyavaliptanam Krishnena Adama Pita Atmanam Dhunuta Shrimadastambam Pashunayata Sankshayam. Please chant. Bolo. Matajis. Esham, of them, Shriya, Avaliptanam, Krishnena Adhama Pita Atmanam, Dhunata Shrimadastambam Pashunayata Sankshayam. Esham Shriya Avaliptanam Krishnena Adhama Pita Atmanam Dhunata Shrimadastambam Pashunayata Sankshayam. Esham, of them, Shriya by their opulences. Avaliptanam, who are intoxicated. Krishnena, by Krishna. Atma Pita, forfeited. Atmanam, whose hearts. Dhunuta, remove. Shri, based on their wealth. Mada, being maddened. Stambham, their false pride. Pashun, their animals. Nayata, bring. Sankshayam, to destruction. Translation purport. Translation: to the clouds of destruction, King Indra said, the prosperity of this people has made them mad with pride, and their arrogance is backed up by Krishna. Now go and remove their pride and bring their animals to destruction. Purport. It is clear from this verse that the residents of Vrindavan had become highly prosperous simply by protecting cows, since Indra wanted to destroy their so-called pride based on wealth by killing their animals. Well-intended cows produce large quantities of milk, from which come cheese, butter, yogurt, ghee, and so on. These foods are delicious by themselves and also enhance other foods, such as fruits, vegetables, and grains. Bread and vegetables are delicious with butter, and fruit is especially appetizing when mixed with cream or yogurt. Dairy products are always desirable in civilized society, and the surplus can be traded for many valuable commodities. Thus, simply by a Vedic dairy enterprise, the residents of Vrindavan were wealthy, healthy, and happy, even in the material sense, and most of all, they were eternal associates of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. We will read out the translation of some other verses. Text number 7. I will follow you to Vraja, riding on my elephant, Airavata, and taking with me the swift and powerful wind clouds to decimate the covered village of Nanda Maharaj. Purport. The Samvartaka clouds were frightened by Indra's powerful mood and thus carried out his order as described in the following verse. Text number 8. Sri Shuka Vacha. Sukadeva Goswami said, on Indra's order, the clouds of universal destruction, released untimely from their bonds, went to the covered pastures of Nanda Maharaj. There, they began to torment the inhabitants of powerfully pouring down torrents of rain upon them. Purport. The Samvartaka clouds could cover the entire earth with a single vast ocean. With great strength, these clouds began flooding the simple land of Vraja. Text number 9. Propelled by the fearsome wind gods, the clouds blazed with lightning bolts and roared with thunder as they hurled down hailstones. Srila Siddhaswami explains that the word Marudganai indicates the 7 great winds, such as Avaha, who presides over the regions of Bhuvarloka, and Pravaha, who holds the planets in their places. Text number 10. As the clouds released torrents of rain as thick as massive columns, the earth was submerged in the flood, and high ground could no longer be distinguished from low. The cows and other animals, shivering from excessive rain and wind, and the covered men and ladies, pained by the cold, all approached Lord Govinda for shelter. Text number 12. Trembling from the distress brought about by severe rainfall and trying to cover their heads and calves with their own bodies, the cows approached the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Hare Krishna. So, this beautiful narration of Govardhan Lila is going on. There are Leelas like Putanavad Leela and Damodar Leela, then Aghasarvadha, Brahma Vimohan Leela, and Gopika Vastraharan Leela, and Govardhan Leela, and then Ras Leela. Krishna has performed many wonderful pastimes. The beauty of Krishna's pastimes is that incarnations within incarnation means there is scripture Sanaka Sujatiya. There, each and every form of Krishna, there is a mantra, there is a yantra, and there is a rupam. Each and every various kinds of devotees worship various forms of Krishna within Krishna's incarnation, Krishna's appearance. Just like some devotees, they worship Gopal, right? So, protector of the cows. So, that is Brahma Vimohan Leela. And then some devotees, they worship Krishna in Damodar, Radha Damodar, or Yashoda Damodar. And then there is a particular mantra for that, and then yantra and all that. And then some devotees, they worship Kaliya Mardan Krishna, right? Some devotees, they worship Giridhari, Govardhan Giridhari, right? Gopal, right? This beautiful form of actually Haridev Rai, Haridev Rai, right? We worship in the mouth of Govardhan. So this original Haridev Rai, he is near Kanpur. What is the name of the place? What is the name of the place? Haridev Rai, original Haridev Rai, near Kanpur. अरे क्या कानपुर में रहते हो बोलो we went recently only. I forgot. So very most beautiful form of Krishna, Haridev Rai. He is situated around 30-40 kilometers from Kanpur. Very beautiful. You must visit next time when you go to Kanpur. So then the most ultimate form of Krishna is Radha Gopinath. People, devotees, like even Bilva Mangal Thakur desires that at the time of death, I want to remember that form, right? Krishna surrounded by the gopis. Vijayate Gopala Chodamani. So like this, Krishna performed all these wonderful pastimes, and they worship. So Giriraj Govardhan, Giridhari, the personality of Godhead who lifted Govardhan hill. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I forgot that prayer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered a prayer saying that let the little finger of Krishna who lifted Govardhan hill, protect me always. That is one of the prayers, Govardhan. So Prabhupada liked this, fond of this Leela very much. So every time Prabhupada would quote that you want to prove God, then you lift Govardhan, See, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. Right? Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. So like that. Many times Prabhupada wrote in many purports where, see, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, and then devotees, they enjoy, narrating this pastime. But these karmis and demons, they think that it is imagination, kalpanik, mythology. So let them think like that, but devotees, they enjoy a lot, right? So we are here enjoying hearing the pastime of Krishna in 10th canto Bhagavatam, first chapter, Nivritta Tarashai Rupagi Manat. So in that purport, that shloka purport, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that those who hear Krishna's pastimes simply, they are very pleasing to the ear. And those who understand tattva of the Krishna's pastimes, it is pleasing to the mind also. So if you want your mind and the ears also, both senses to be pleased, then you must hear Krishna's pastimes and understand also the tattva behind all these pastimes. Right? So this Govardhan Leela is performed by hearing Damodar Leela. We can increase our determination. By hearing Govardhan Leela, we can increase our faith. Right? Other day one devotee asked question. So poor fellow, he doesn't have to go to Golok Vrindavan to understand why Govardhan Leela is performed to increase faith. It is given by Jiva Goswami in Gopal Champu. So it is, by hearing this pastime, we will increase faith in Krishna. Right? And whose faith? Our faith. Brajavasis, there are Nitya Siddha gopis and gopas who came from Golok Vrindavan. For them, it's not required. But there are devotees, like impersonalists, they have become trees in Vrindavan. And some of the sages, they have become birds in Vrindavan to enjoy the remnants of Krishna's, prasadam. And then there are sadhana siddha gopis and other sadhana siddhas, who have little, here and there. So in order to increase their faith, to understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also to love Him. So Krishna has performed this Govardhan Leela. Like I explained before, that various pastimes Krishna performed gave perfection to various levels of devotees. Right? So by performing Brahma Vimohan Leela, he gave perfection to the ladies who wanted to feed Krishna. And then the same Leela, then all this Gocharan Leela, all these pastimes are performed to give perfection to the cowherd boys. And then he prepared the gopis to become perfect in Ras Leela by doing a Vastraharan Leela. And this pastime, Govardhan Leela, is performed for giving perfection to cowherd men. Cowherd men. And the next pastime, he gives perfection to the gopis. Like this, Krishna is Mukunda avatar. Krishna is known as Mukunda. He gave perfection to all devotees, all kinds of various kinds of devotees. And then another feature of Govardhan Leela is all the five rasas are nourished by Krishna in this Leela. And then all devotees, they enjoyed Krishna's darshan at the same time. At the same time. So, with this introduction, here it is described that how many of you have seen Krishna? Please raise your hands. Hey, culture, you have seen Krishna? Don't say deities. Actual. I know that. Otherwise, there is a riddle. See, it is given in sixth canto Bhagavatam that the demigods are praying to the Lord and the Vritrasura's incident that, my dear Lord, you are present in everybody's heart. In everybody's heart. Then you are the creator, maintainer and the destroyer of this world. And then you are present in everybody's heart. Even though you are present in everybody's heart, we all cannot see you. We all cannot see you because we all think that, all of us, we think that I am God. The moment I realize that I am not God, I can see Krishna. That is why in the third verse, it is second verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Indra thought, Ishamanina. Ishamanina. Means he thought that he is God. That is why he is thinking, Hare, who is this Krishna stopping my sacrifice? Right? So the most important factor in our spiritual life, the whole movement is established to make us humble, to make us realize that I am not God. Right? Many people, once somebody asked Prabhupada, one hippie, in 1966, have you seen God? He gave various answers at various places. He said, yeah, I am seeing right now, but you are blocking my way, sit down. Right? So another time, one student asked Prabhupada, have you seen God? Prabhupada said, if I say I have seen, how will you verify it? How will you verify it? Another time, one hippie came to meeting, evening darshan. He said, I am God, I am God. You're all nonsense, like that he was shouting. Okay. I will ask you a simple question. Do you stop while walking at when the signal is red? Do you stop at red signal while crossing the road? He said yes. Then Prabhupada concluded, then you are not God. That means you are stopping at the red light. That means you are afraid. Like that. But this is Indra has got and everybody has got, Ishamanina, that I am God. So that is the single most reason why we cannot see Krishna, even though he is present in our hearts, even though he is present kan mein, in each and every atom. The moment I become humble, so in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narad Muni explains that this quality of surrender and humbleness, humility, they keep on continually go on even after reaching Golok Vrindavan. And the more one becomes humble, develops humility, the more he will get love of Krishna and the more he will experience bliss. Then he concludes, the gopis are the most humble personalities. That is why they have got the highest love, and then they are the ones who enjoy the bliss of highest bliss. So Narada Muni says that it is even the cowherd men, they think that I can do some service for Krishna. But the gopis, they don't think at all, it seems. They just Atmanivedanam. So that quality, humility, the more we become humble, the more we will develop love for Krishna. That is the equation, mathematical, equation, right? That was so. The more we have pride, the more we will be away from Krishna, right? Yeah. So Narad Muni gives a very beautiful definition of pride. That anybody who performs karma kanda, jnana kanda, yoga, he is proud. Alright? If you are doing sitting, yogasana sitting, if I say all this, people will be upset. But this is the definition of Narada Muni. Pride means if somebody is doing karma and then they think that I'm giving results to Krishna, karma yoga. And somebody is doing jnana yoga. And somebody is doing Patanjali yoga, yoga marg, Raja yoga. So that is the symptom of pride. Then other pride is also there. Janamadam, Janmaishwarya Shuta Shribir, Edamana Mada Puman, Naivarha Tavdatum Vai, Tvama Kinchan Gocharam. Janamada, Balamada, Aishwarya Mada, all these mother pride is there, having taken birth in good family, right? So what is this, doing welfare activities, right? That is a pride, imitating Krishna, that is pride. Oh, I am giving relief to all the people. That is the job of Krishna, right? Giving relief to people. So we think that, doing welfare activities, we will, we'll get good name. That is why Srila Prabhupada did not want ISKCON devotees to perform any welfare activities, because the highest welfare activity is giving Krishna consciousness. This kind of mundane welfare activities, that is actually symptom of pride. Symptom of pride. So Indra, has become influenced by pride. Pride. So in the third verse, he says, Martyam. Hare, these people, they are listening to an ordinary human being, Krishna. So Prabhupada, Vishnu Chakatakur says that, anyway, this 9th chapter, 8th or 9th verse, Avajananti Mamuda Manushim Tanumashritam Parambhavam Ajananto Mamabhuta Maheshwaram. Right? The original form of Krishna is two-handed form. Right? Gopika Kanta. So, he is the original personality of Godhead. When he comes in his original form, because human beings are made after the form of Krishna, made after God. So, because Krishna is looking like us, everybody thinks that he is like a human being. Lord Ramchandra, they criticize Ramchandra. So, both very tricky, these two incarnations, very, very difficult to understand. Like Lord Ramchandra, he was actually crying for Sita. Oh, where is Sita? Where are you? Where are you? Where is my Sita? Where is my Sita? Lakshmana has to console him and all that. Right? So, there is one very great musician, Tyagaraja Swami, is very famous in South India. He wrote, My dear Lord, he wrote a bhajan saying that, my dear Ramchandra, it is not very, very great of you to that, you built a, bridge across ocean. It's not such a great thing that, you killed Vali or you killed Ravanasur, rescued Sita. The greatest thing, I cannot understand how you done that, because even though you are Sarvajna, like an ordinary man, you are searching for Sita, where is Sita, where is Sita? How did you accomplish this? How did you act such a beautiful way? Right? So it is like that, Krishna does, Vishnu Chakatakur says in Gopi Gita commentary that Krishna performs purposefully all these activities like dancing with others' wives, or performing the pastime of leaving the body. Because if you see, no other incarnation left the body behind. Lord Ramchandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nobody. Only Krishna left this body. Why? Because Prabhupada writes, in order to bewilder atheistic people, demons, to say, to think that Krishna also came, he also died. Very, very. So this is, Vishnu Chakra says that even though, even Jarasandha, who are his devotees, acted in such a way, opposing Krishna. Krishna made him act like that, it seems. And all these, bewildering pastimes Krishna performs, to force people to think that he is an ordinary human being. So which made even Indra to think like that Krishna is a ordinary human being. But Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimam etiso Arjuna. So the Prabhupada said, if you understand this one verse, that is enough. He'll go back to Godhead. Right? Even great personality like Gandhiji, he also criticized Krishna. Said, if this personality who danced, he is encouraging Arjuna to commit violence when he is reluctant. If this personality danced with the other men's wives, I will not accept him as God. Gandhiji, after reading all Bhagavad Gita, pious activity, brahmacharya, that was his understanding. Very, very difficult to understand Krishna's pastimes. That is why these three verses are very important in 4th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame divyam, vitarag bhayakroda, manmaya mam upashita, bahavo jnana tapasa, puta mad bhavam agataha. Ye yathamam prapadyante, tam stateva bhajamyaham, mamavatman vartante, manushya partha sarvashaha. Right? One Acharya comments that Vitaraga Bhayakroda Manmaya Mam Upashita Bahavo Jnana Tapasa. So what is Jnana Tapasa? Of all the tapasyas, this Jnana Tapasa is the greatest tapasya. So what is Jnana Tapasya? Sri Ramanuja comments that sit down and do research, study, and understand how Krishna's birth and activities are transcendental. That is called Jnana Tapasa. There is no need to go to Himalayas or do, stand upside down, Somebody asked, what is the Sirshasan? Sirshasan, kya fayda hua? When I was doing Sirshasan, I found some valuable thing which is gone, below the cot. ऊपर नीचे करने से पता चल गया उसको खोया हुआ चीज मिल गया. So there was no need to stand upside down, right? We can sit here very peacefully every day and study Bhagavatam and hear Bhagavatam. And try to understand how Krishna's pastime are transcendental. How Krishna appeared, how his birth is transcendental. So Ramanuja says that for such people, ye yathamam prapadyanti tam stateva bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Such people, what is bhavamagataha? Bhavamagataha means Krishna, you will attain the nature of Krishna. So what is Krishna's nature? Vitaraga bhaya krodha. You will become free from raga, bhaya and krodha. You will become like Krishna. Attain the transcendental nature of Krishna. Bhavamagataha. So he says that those who understand my transcendental pastimes as divine and those who understand my birth as divine, I will make their birth also transcendental and their activities also transcendental. Right? Those who do not understand and they think that my birth and my pastimes are material, like Mayavadis, right? Then I will make them also go through again and again birth, death, old age cycle. Right? Another important thing is Mogasha Mogakarmano, Mogajnana Vichetasaha, Rakshasi Masurim Cheva, Prakriti Mohinim Sheta. So, Avajananti Mamuda, and next verse is this. You know? So, those who, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that even though all those people who think that Krishna's deity is material, and even the devotees also, even though devotees who are worshipping the deities, they think that, this form is temporary, I will merge with the Brahman after that. And there are people like that, even in ISKCON also. So, even such people, those who think that Krishna is a human being, avajananti mamuda manushim tanumashitaha. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, they will take birth in asuric families in the next life. So, one must be very, very careful. Never to think that Krishna is a ordinary person. So Indra was thinking like this, Martyana, like that. So here Indra is saying, so Martya means, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that he will appear like a human being and give bliss to all the devotees in the Vraj. So, then Indra goes on to say in this verse that now he became very upset that they are influenced by Krishna. They have neglected me. They have neglected me. So there is a very wonderful narration. Krishna purposefully was actually provoking Indra. So there is this Govardhan Puja, Govardhan is worshipped, and then cows are worshipped, Brahmanas are worshipped, and Krishna is worshipped. So there is a beautiful narration from Gopal Champu. Very briefly I will explain because nobody has explained before. So very wonderful to hear this pastime of Govardhan. So when Krishna said that, don't do Indra's worship, you worship Govardhan, because he is the one who is providing all our necessities. Right? Then he said, otherwise also he will give barish, like that. Just like, Samundari is not doing any sacrifice, but he's putting, rains on the ocean. Later on when Indra was pouring out rain, then Krishna joked, see, I told you. See, even though we did not worship, he is giving more rain than before. Like that. So, actually, this coward men, they are not bothered about this karma mimamsha philosophy. They don't understand. Devotees, for us only very, very difficult to read, and understand all these 6 Shad Darshan, right? Vedanta Sutra, sometimes, I try to read. Then I've read only 2 sutras. One is Atata Brahma Jinyasa, then after that, Janma Dasyata. After that, Chitana, if you read Madhvacharya's commentary, so many arguments, this and that, you will give it up. So, coward men, they will not understand all this karma mimamsha philosophy and all. So, but they were looking at Krishna. Krishna, so nicely speaking. अरे हमारा बेटा बहुत बड़ा हो गया, इतना अच्छा बोल रहा है, right? Many people, they attend these Chinmayananda, this Ananda, that Ananda lectures. They will come and say, very, very nice lecture he gave. Then you ask him, what did he speak? A very nice lecture he speak. They all speak, Brahman, this and that, you are God, I am God. All that, you will not, so you will not, you ask them very nicely, but what did he speak? Very nice, because you don't understand anything. Right? You don't understand it. Like that, all the coward men, they were thinking, so nicely Krishna spoke. Very nice. Okay, what do you want? You stop worshipping Indra and worship Govardhan. Okay. Then they made very nice arrangements. They decorated Govardhan with gold, silver and all that. and with beautiful cloths and all, right? And then they uh, arranged such mountains of rice, various peaks of rice. And then all the vegetables they have cooked, they looked as if some various minerals they kept on the, all the vegetables like that. And then they made unsurpassable lakes of, rivers of milk and lakes of yogurt. Yeah? And then the ghee is flowing just like waterfalls. Just imagine, go, all of you go, like our Prabhuji was narrating. Go to Govardhan. Go to Govardhan and imagine, see, be there. Like that, just be there. We can't imitate, go, making ghee of waterfalls. Waterfalls of ghee, right? Like that. And then seeing all these things, Krishna expanded himself as Govardhan and then he sat there. Right? So everybody thought that is it a cloud with lightning or some, or Krishna only appeared like this, like that. And then Krishna appeared on the top of the mountain. Then everybody could see darshan of Govardhan, Govardhan. Then Krishna, then there is a commotion. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Then Krishna said, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, with his sweet voice. Then as soon as Krishna ordered, keep quiet, because there is a huge commotion, all the covered men, women, everybody gathered, right? And keep quiet, everybody kept quiet. Said, then Krishna asked Girirajji, who are you? Who are you? Then he said, I am Giriraj. I am Giriraj Govardhan. Right? Being pleased with all of you, I came here to accept all your offerings. Please give as much as, possible. Then he said, all of you think that Devatas are different from you, but I am non-different from you. I am here. So, Krishna said, okay, here Girirajji, see Girirajji being pleased with all of us, he appeared to, he said this, Janu, hear this, that this personality, he is being pleased with all of us. In order to increase our faith, he appeared to receive our personal offerings personally. So, Krishna immediately offered obeisances. Some people, they actually one should do parikrama of the deity around, but some people they do parikrama of themselves. It is an offense actually. Some people you can see, they, right, like that. So it's an offense like that. But Krishna, he is offering obeisances to himself, right? And then Balram also followed. Then everybody followed. All of them, they offered obeisances to Girirajji. And then Girirajji, he ate 10 million kilos of rice. Kitna? 10 million kilos of rice. And then he was actually, like we, along with the rice, we eat vegetable, right? We don't eat rice like that, right? So along with that, he was bringing out vegetables. Then he extended his hands. Then he is taking out all the vegetables, keeping it on the top of the rice. Then he is bringing that ghee and mixing it with the rice. Then he was eating. Then everyone was, wow, Giriraj is eating like that. And then he was extending his hands and taking water from the lakes and the kundas. And then all the waters, kundas and all, they are emptied. They became emptied. One more thing I forgot to mention, that there is a huge celebration and there is a music and all. And that wonderful music has reached Swargaloka. Ashwini Kumar, as they say, that this must be causing pain to the ears of Indra. This music, what's happening? Indra was thinking, क्या हो रहा है? ब्रज का music, स्वर्गलोक तक पहुंच गया बोलता है, right? That. And then he was emptying like that. Then he said, seeing that Giriraj is eating so much again, Nanda Maharaj immediately he ordered more to be cooked, and then they cooked, and then again and again he was eating everything. Then after eating is finished, he took water and then gargled, and then he just lifted his head and then threw it out, and then that water fell on his back, and some grass and all, trees and all sprouted from that water. And then he took some trees. Took trees, and then he was cleaning his teeth. Take out if any food is stuck in the teeth, like that. And then he said, Krishna and all, they are very, very satisfied. Then Krishna said, let us do circumambulation of the, this thing, Govardhan hill, like that. And then then meanwhile, before that, they worship the cows. They worship the cows. So where cows are, their horns are decorated with gold, hooves are decorated with silver, and the bodies are decorated with very fine silk cloth. And the cows are fed very nice, delicious foodstuffs, grass and all, fragrant grass. And the cows are very, very satisfied, and they're jumping up and down. The calves are released to drink the milk, like that. Then Krishna worshipped the cows. So Krishna was teasing the cows, saying that by hiding himself, and the cows and calves were looking for Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And they started crying, and then Krishna appeared. Krishna appeared, and then while the calves are drinking the milk, he would drag the calves. Drag the calves, and then along with the calves don't want to leave the nipples of udder, and then they are along with the nipples, they were actually dragged, and then the cows are under distress. Then they are cooing and all that. Then Krishna said, okay. Then all the Nanda Maharaj and all, they said, Krishna, please touch the food. And then he is touching the food and feeding his hands are full of fragrance. The food became very fragrant. And then the cows are joyfully eating that grass touched by the Krishna's lotus hand. And then Krishna said, let us do circumambulation of the cows. And then there are millions and millions of cows. How to control? Nanda Maharaj was unable to control the cows. All the cows and the calves and all that. It's very difficult. Krishna do something. Then immediately Krishna started blowing the flute. Then all the cows and all, they came together. Said, how to circumambulate millions of cows? Then Krishna said, choose one cow of each of the category, jati. So they have chosen one cow of each category, and then they circumambulated. Then now the Govardhan has to be, he has to be worshipped. Then the Nanda Maharaj and all, अच्छा पंचदीप ऑफर करने से क्या इतना बड़ा, इतना बड़ा, Govardhan. So Krishna arranged a very, very special lamp which has thousands and thousands of wicks. Right? If you see Ganga Aarti or in Haridwar and Kashi, it's a very beautiful sight, Ganga Aarti. Like that, very thousands and thousands of wicks. Krishna, they were offering lamp offering to Giriraj. Right? Then Krishna said, see, Giriraj personally accepted the offerings Whereas Indra never came and personally accepted our offerings. So from this we can understand that the Giriraj is a great personality, which can replace Indra, because he must be greater than Indra. From this we can understand. So we need not be afraid. If anything happens, Govardhan, Girirajji will protect us. Right? And then Girirajji, Krishna disappeared. Then Krishna said, now we will do parikrama. Girirajji ka parikrama. So keeping the cows, decorated cows with gold and all. So Krishna was, then they worshipped Krishna. Before that they worshipped Krishna. And then Brahmanas, they are worshipped, and all the so much charity they were given that Nanda Maharaj Chintamani, in Vrindavan, now this we can Jayati Tedikam Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira Shashvadatrahi Daita Drishyatam Dikshutavaka Tvaidritrashravas Tvam Vichinvate. So the gopis are saying, my dear Krishna, ever since you are born in Vrindavan, Vraj has become Adhikam. Adhikam means more opulent than Vaikuntha. Why? Because ever since you are born, Lakshmi Devi came here to live here permanently. That is why Vrindavan Dham, Vraj Dham, defeated the opulence of even Vaikuntha, Dwaraka, all other dhams, like that. So they became very opulent, Nanda Maharaj and all. So there is no limit, how much charity he gave. Like that. All the Devatas and all, they were praising Nanda Maharaj. How he is giving so much charity. Like that. There is no comparison. Nobody can give charity like Nanda Maharaj. Like that, he became very, very famous. Like that. Then Krishna was dressed very beautifully with Pitambar Vastra and beautiful hair, turban, and nice peacock feather. Very beautifully. Sometimes he is playing with the cows and the calves, and then he was gathering all the cows and which are strayed away, and then he was actually joking with the friends. He was joking with all the the covered girls, and then he is playing flute. Then all the people who are doing parikrama, they became attracted to so much Krishna that everybody's eyes are on Krishna only. And by the time we reach Uddhav Kund, हमारा तेल खत्म हो जाता है. Then we keep asking, और कितना दूर, और कितना दूर, और कितना दूर. Radha Kund, if you start with Radha Kund, then by the time we take bath, one more, I think 2 kilometers from Radha Kund, Kusum Sarovar. Some devotees, they start from Kusum Sarovar. You take prasad and all. By the time, kabhi pahunchega. But here, Govardhan Lila, they were so joyful because Krishna is there. They are looking at Krishna. They are dancing with Krishna. They are, all this, they're. And they are eating. So after that, one Govardhan Lila, that is one thing, Vrat Lila Parikrama, that you don't have to fast. Right? All other festivals, either afternoon fasting or midnight fasting or evening fasting. Prabhupada says in one lecture, see, Radharani is more merciful. Why? Because for Krishna's birth, you have to fast till midnight. For Radharani's birth, you have to fast only till the noon. Like that. So this fasting thing is, but there in Govardhan Lila, there is no fasting. Nanda Maharaj fed every Gopal, every Vrajvasi up to the throat. Up to the throat he fed. Then all delicious, because Jo Govardhan sab kha liya tha. There is nothing left. Then they had to cook again. All delicious foodstuffs. And then he fed. Now they said, now no more Govardhan offering. Right? So after the festival, everybody ate so much that, bhuktayasam, like that. So then, and then after one thing is, in all these women and the children, they don't have to walk, they don't have to walk. So they can do yantra. In one Purana, it is quoted that even if you do yantra parikrama, that means machine. Yantra means machine, that vehicle. If you sit in the vehicle and do parikrama, you will get the same result. Some devotees, if they are sick, they should not do, like diabetic people, they should not walk bare feet. Like one of our devotees, both Jiddita, he walked bare feet. Then he got his foot got hurt, and then they had to remove his leg. Just, so somebody asked Prabhupada, we don't have to be fanatics. Somebody asked Prabhupada, some devotees, they walk bare feet, what we should follow? Prabhupada said, follow your guru. So they looked at lotus feet of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was wearing chappal and walking in Vrindavan. So apna shraddha hai. If somebody can walk without chappal, they should walk, all healthy people and all. But if you cannot walk without chappal, you can walk with the chappal on, like that. So, some devotees, they cannot finish Giriraj Parikrama in one day, at one go. Then it is mentioned in the scriptures that you should not do Parikrama feeling uncomfortable, feeling sick. If you are sick, you don't have to do Parikrama. You stay in a hotel there, take rest, and the next day you finish remaining Parikrama. So that facility is there. You don't have to fast also. Better, some devotees, they just walk. Right? Last year, what we did was, one day we did Parikrama, one day we took a vehicle and went to all the places. One day before, we went to all the places by vehicle. Then we did Katha there, explained glories of Kusum Sarovar, Manasi Ganga, and all other places. And then next day we just did Parikrama. Otherwise, if you stop and hear the pastimes, like that, anyway, you can do either way. But some people, they do just walk, right? 2.5 hours, they can, how fast you can do? Anyway, usually it takes 5-6 hours, right? How fast you can do? Some devotees, they do finish it in 3 hours. Yeah, very fast, 2.5, 3 hours. Fat, like that. But anyway, it is very joyful if it is like that. The next day, they stayed back, and then the next day, Baiduj. So Krishna's Upananda, other, Krishna's cousin sisters. Krishna doesn't have a own sister, but Krishna's cousin sisters, they all invited Krishna Balram and all the Sakhas, including Madhumangal. Right? And then the sister feeds brother on that day. So all of them, they were feeding, the sisters, are feeding Krishna. And then Madhumangal, I forgot the name of the sister. She cooked such very nice, delicious prasad. That Madhumangal was saying that, Krishna, why don't we stay nearby? So that every day we can celebrate Bhai Dooj. And your sister can cook very nice laddus. Then he said, rascal, you are a voracious eater. Like that, Krishna chastised Madhumangal. Like that, they enjoyed. Like that. So, Bhai Dooj, they took bath in Yamuna, and then they attend the festival of Bhai Dooj. Like, so in the meanwhile, Indra became very, very upset, and then he called Samavartaka clouds, wind gods, and then the thunderbolt god. 3 devatas he called. One is Samvartaka devatas, Vayu devatas, and lightning and thunderbolt. Then he said, send the rain. Right? Like it is described in Bhagavatam, this 10th canto, in those verses. That so much rain, so much rain. Like one drop of rain is as thick as pillar, stamba. You can just imagine. Right? Like that. So, it's nice, it's described that when Krishna ran from his house to lift Govardhan hill, even though it is raining very heavily, one drop of water also did not fall on Krishna. He did not become wet. One more thing is that one thing I forgot to tell, that Govardhan with one hand he is eating, with another hand he is showing middle finger to Indra. Dekha? Dekha? With one hand, like that, in order to provoke. So, in order to provoke Indra, he did not, while subduing Kaliya, when he jumped from the tree, Kadamba tree, he kamar kaskata. He tightened his, waist cloth. In order to show you are nothing to Indra, he did not even kamar nahi kasa. He did not tighten his waist belt. I say, somebody. Then he called all the Brajvasis. Then he said, come. He lifted Govardhan hill. He said, I am not lifting Govardhan hill. Right? Hare, most important thing. So, when the Govardhan Puja is finished, all the singers and all, they are singing the glories of Krishna. All the devatas are singing the glories of Krishna. And the gopis, they composed songs. Right? All of you can follow I will say this one sentence and then you reply. For one example, I say, who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? One gopi was singing. Then another gopi saying, he who fearlessly assumes the position of Indra. Right? Now you keep on, you say, right? Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? You say, he who killed Putana. Bolo? Sab log bolo? Another gopi was saying, who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Bolo? Next go. Huh? He who killed Shakatasur. Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Who is killed? He who killed Trunavrat. Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Bolo. सब लोग बोलो जोर से. Who he killed? Agasur. Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? He who killed Vatsasur and Vyomasur. Bolo. He who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Bolo. Dhenukasur. Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? You are not reading Krishna book. Who has subdued harsh Pralambasur? Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Who has subdued Kaliya? Who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Who has swallowed the fire? Then last में, who has arranged the worship of Govardhan? Who gives fear to Kamsa? Like that they were enjoying the Govardhan Lila, refrain, right? So all of you read Krishna book every day, right? Then you will remember like that. Anyway. He sent, next class somebody will describe the entire. So one thing I want to tell, Gopal Champu, everybody doesn't read. In Gopal Champu, Krishna said, come, come, don't wait. Don't listen to my mother's advice. You know, come here, come here. One who has lifted Govardhan hill, he will not make it fall. You know, don't be afraid. Seeing you suffering like this, I am shivering, you know, I feel afflicted, and then the Govardhan may fall. So come quickly, come quickly. So this is where, you know, they showed faith that, you know, they come and hearing the words of Krishna, they all, even though they are apprehensive that Govardhan will fall, but still hearing the words of Krishna, they came under the Govardhan hill. Krishna said, don't worry. There is a patala like hole under the bottom of the Govardhan with a ladder. All of you will be safe there. So they took all the Govardhan Vasis, they came with, you know, the cows and the calves and animals, and everybody came, and they climbed that ladder, went inside, and there is a beautiful city. With all the walls studded with diamonds and jewels and all. With very nice breezes are flowing, and there is a very nice, you know, fragrant, delicious foodstuffs. Like that. So they were all enjoying. They didn't have any problem. Then somebody may ask, when the so much water was falling, it may flood, right, underneath. But it is said that Sudarshan Chakra came and is producing heat and evaporating all the water. So even if one drop of water is falling underneath the, stored in the Govardhan, near the Govardhan. Then Indra said, hey, find out any damage happened. He ordered the wind devatas. The wind devatas came and reported saying that no damage has happened. Right? And then he ordered, all these, the Samvartaka clouds again. Cloud devatas. Go and see if any damage is done. So no damage is done. No damage is done. I said, what's happening? Then he called the thunderbolt again. Said, smash the Govardhan again. Some people, they came and reported, some devatas reported, saying that there is no sight of any Vrajavasi. I think they are all destroyed, even dead bodies are not found. Because, they are washed away because so much rain. Like it is mentioned in the vast ocean will form. Like, so I think dead bodies are... but, Indra had a doubt. Check again. Then they went back and said, no. Baal ka baka bhi nahi hua. They are all safe. Then he ordered thunderbolt again. Smash the mountain and kill all the people. Then the thunderbolt again they came and then they smashed Govardhan. Then they went back and reported that not even a piece of grass is affected and not even an ant is killed. Not even an ant is killed. अभी क्या गया तब भी उसको अरे this forgetfulness is a great disease of all conditioned souls, even including Brahma, even though he studied Veda, Bhagavan Brahmakasnena, Three Naniksha Manishaya. He read Vedas 3 times, 1 billion verses, but still he forgets. Right? Second canto, second chapter, first verse. Brahma has forgotten. Then he meditated on the universal form of the Lord. Then he regained his memory. Like that. So Indra, अरे हम सब गए थे ना cow along with the cow and all. Then he promised that Krishna is going to come in the Supreme Personality going to come in the form of Krishna. I forgot. अरे ये तो Vishnu है. Then anyway, very interesting. Then Brahaspati, Brahma, they chastised Indra, and then all that happened. Like that. So this is a wonderful narration from Gopal Champu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, in the beginning you were giving the example of devotees, they worship Lord in different forms. So, in Bhagavad Gita 1865, Prabhupada has mentioned there are so many different forms of the Lord, but we should worship only Radha Krishna. So, what do you say about that one?
But everybody, likes one particular form of the Lord. So, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was mentioning that even this, what's the name? Murari Gupta. So, Murari Gupta, that, I forced him to worship Krishna because he's worshipping Sitaram. Then next day, by describing wonderful features and pastimes of Krishna, then he agreed. The next day he came, whole night he thought. He said, my dear Lord, you are my spiritual master. I cannot disobey my order. But I sold out my life to lotus feet of Ramchandra. So I cannot give up the lotus feet of Ramchandra. I cannot disobey your orders. So please give me permission to kill myself. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I'm just testing you. So you are a very great example of a determined devotee. So one who is attached to one particular form, they should worship that form. And then naturally, a devotee, some devotees are, Pushtimarga devotees, they are attached to Giriraj Govardhan, Giridhari form. Some devotees, they worship, they also worship Bal Gopal. Right? But in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we are advised to worship Radha Krishna. But if somebody is attracted to Bal Gopal, there is no harm.
Oh, one more point.
But we can't force.
One more point. You were just now singing about the Gordhan, the glorification of Gordhan. So when you are celebrating Gordhan Puja, so that time you should sing these all songs.
Yeah, we should. Okay? Hare Krishna. Giriraj Govardhan ki. Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Gaur Premanande.